inside my heart I feel it was shot like a crowd dancing. I guess I can live without things that make my life what it is.
Hey, Josh here, and I just got back from I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. And this is, if you do not know, an adaptation of Tucker Max's best-selling book of the same name. And again, if you don't know, it is largely stories compiled from his famous site. He is one of the founders of the so-called fratire genre, along with Maddox, who created the Alphabet of Manliness book, recently released an extended edition, which I will be reviewing. And this movie does not got very good press and has not made a lot of money. And you know what? I'm kind of sad for that. I was going into this movie, honestly, with the lowest of expectations. I kept hearing bad reviews, bad things, and it kept making no money. And you know what? After seeing it, I don't know why. I mean, actually, that's not true. I do know why. It was because the advertising failed epically. But it's not a terrible movie. There are flaws I could point out with the movie. I thought the pacing was a little slow and draggy. I thought that some of it, like the camera work, wasn't too great. But, you know, overall, this was a fun movie, and that's what you went to this for. The entire reason you read I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell is not because it's some literary masterpiece. It's because you had fun with it. And you keep reading because it is funny. Entirely reprehensible, of course, but nonetheless very funny. For instance, I am going to go pick up Assholes Finish First in February, the day it comes out. I'm even going to spend a little more to get it in hardcover, because you know what? I have so much fun rereading I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, which I did before the movie came out. And this, if you don't know, is an loose adaptation of the Austin road trip story from the book. And it features a lot of the key scenes with the new ones added in to create a more full-length feature that actually makes sense. Now, to get on with the review, I just want to touch on that last point in particular. It does add quite a bit of things to make the movie really flow. Now, I thought this was necessary. A lot of people have complained about the ending, and I won't say anything, but if you had left it the way it was, I don't think it would have made any kind of story at all, frankly. And I thought the changes they did at first seemed somewhat like a cop-out, but at the very end are revealed that they does stick with the spirit of the book, of him being just a total douchebag. So, was this movie any good? I mean, I know I've said it was funny, but was it a pretty good movie? Yeah, you know what? I would go see this. It was only in my AMC, thank God. I love my AMC. It plays the weirdest shit and stuff you would never see anywhere else except in major cities, but God bless it. I'll give them my money. And, you know, this is a really funny movie. It incorporates quite a few in-jokes, like the cheeseburger monologue from parts of the book, and just a couple different things that not necessarily are from the Austin road trip story, but do fit in with the context, because it does feature quite a few of the characters. And it really nails a lot of the humor of the book. I was listening to the trailers, that is, and a lot of the jokes seemed really forced. And ironically enough, the ones that seemed forced in the trailer and the ones that seemed funny in the trailer were actually reversed in the movie, and the ones I thought were funny in the trailer ended up being only okay in the movie, and the ones that I thought were forced actually turned out to be quite a bit better than I thought they were going to be. But that's not a bad thing, of course. That's just noting. So, the actors, completely new actors. I honestly I don't have IMDb up at the moment. I can't remember their names. No one that anyone knows, for the most part. But they do a good job in it. Characters are played well. I did think that the guy who plays Tucker Max, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name because I'll just embarrass myself, really nailed the persona of Tucker Max, within the book, that is. And Jesse Bradford is Drew. Awesome job. Awesome job. G.L. Stoltz as Dan plays the more straight-laced character, but still very funny. Overall, the movie does seem like just a lot of gags strewn together, and there is really not of a story, and you do kind of feel that towards the end, but that's not really the point of the movie, and if you go into the movie expecting that, then it's not a bad movie. I mean, there's nothing wrong with something just being a series of gags. The Hangover was largely just one similar setup, just with a series of outrageous things happening one after the other. And this is pretty much the same way. So if you like The Hangover, you might like this. Beware, though, if you have not read the book, this is immensely crass and does stoop to the lowest common denominator at almost all times. But that is why it is funny, in my opinion. There are some movies you go and see. I see French art house movies in theater, and you go in with certain expectations for those. When I go to see I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, then you know what? I expect to see debauchery. And that is what I got in the movie, so I was happy with it. The effects and camera work, like I said, there was a couple scenes where where skin tones changed quite drastically, which I thought was rather odd. And because of the budget of the movie, a lot of it is very grainy filming. But it's not enough to really destroy the feel of the movie. One thing I was impressed by was the soundtrack. Again, I can't remember the songs off the top of my head, you'll have to forgive me. But it did go really well with it, and it did clearly show some deliberation in the choices of songs that I really enjoyed listening to it. And I probably would listen to it outside the course of the movie. So if you are a fan of Tucker Max and have just been waiting to see this movie in theaters because you're not sure of the reviews, or you've skipped it entirely because of the reviews, if it's still playing, go and see it, because even if you don't like the movie as much as I do, and I didn't think it was a great movie, but I did think it was a really fun movie. I left the theater with a smile on my face and a lot of one-liners to go back home with. But, you know, just go and see it, because you will probably regret not seeing it if you try and wait for the DVD and you pick it up then just on a rental and like it, because this movie is fun to see in theaters. There wasn't too many people in the theater with me, but the people that we were laughing together. We had both obviously read the book, and we were enjoying it, seeing it adapted on the screen and watching it play out before us. So in that light, I suggest you go see the movie. If you're a fan of R-rated comedies, this could be very funny. It is hit or miss. It's a very polarizing movie, I will admit, but you might want to check it out. Make sure it's your bag. You can go to I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell.com or TuckerMax.com to actually read the story or stories this is based off of. Otherwise, like I said, this is actually a funny movie. I'd give it a thumbs up personally, but you must go in with the right expectations and knowing what you're going in for.